Hey artists, today and this week we're going to be talking about the book The Dot. And in that book, an artist discovers that art doesn't have to look like this thing or that thing, it can just be created with dots of color. And so, what we're going to do today is make a tree with dots of color. And so I'm going to take you step by step with how to draw the trunk of our tree and then how to use our crayons and markers to make these really neat dots and a really cool tree. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is get out our brown marker and put our paper the long way for our tree. So we're going to take our marker and we're going to make like a long rectangle like this. And then I go ahead and I color that long rectangle in with my marker. To make an area for the tree roots, I kind of put little triangle shapes out, like 1, 2, 3 little triangle shapes out, and that makes the root of our tree. Up here we're going to make some branches. So I'm going to take my marker and scoop it up and out to make a branch and another branch. And then I like to have some branches come off. So like a tree, I have some branches that come out and off the other branches. And now I am ready to decorate this amazing tree with dots like I saw in our book. I think I'm going to use my crayons. So I go ahead and get those ready. And I'm going to make just some different colored dots all around my tree. I'm going to do some purple ones. These are going to be like the leaves. Not all art has to look exactly like what it represents. My tree does not always have to have perfect little green leaves. I can get creative and make it different and fun. So I'm going to just put lots of different colored dots all over my paper, and that's what I want you to be doing on your paper too. First you made your tree trunk with your marker, and now we're using different colors to make different dots for the leaves of our tree. So I'm going to put some here and over here and just kind of all over. And I want to have a nice variety so they all look different. And I want to make sure I've got them kind of all around these different branches. Now the next step is adding in some different colors and putting a circle around the first dot, a circle around the next dot, and that starts to make these look really, really neat, just kind of like here. So we're going to be doing that. My first step is to just kind of draw a circle around some of my first circles. And I want them all to be different. So I'm going to use a little bit of yellow here. And then I'm going to switch it up with a little green. So I'm trying to use all the different color crayons I have to make my tree very unique and just exploding with color. That's what makes this piece of art so beautiful. What color haven't I used yet? I don't see any red. Let me find my red crayon. Put a little bit of red around this one and around this one. And I like this color, the red violet. It's a little bit purple mixed with red. Very cool. So as you're coloring, just think about what colors you haven't used yet and what colors you can add to make your picture extra unique and beautiful. And then I'm just going to keep adding those circles around the first dots I made to make my leaves nice and big and make my tree look nice and full. I don't want it to look like an empty tree in the winter. I want it to look like a nice full tree. Here's a light green I haven't tried. I can put that around some of them. And once they all have 2 layers of color, like mine, we can add a third layer. So I'm just going to go back, get some different colors, and make that third circle around these first circles to make them nice and big. And I'm just going to keep switching up my colors to make them all different. Put a little yellow on these. And then I'm going to get a little pink. I'm just going to keep doing this until all of my leaves have 3 layers of color. That's what's going to make them look really neat. I'm almost done. Let me see. What's another color? I could add a little bit more purple. And now I'm kind of finishing that up, adding that last level of color, that third layer. And that means I'll be ready to grab my markers and finish up this piece of art. This one goes right off the page, so I want to just add that third layer around. And I kind of brush off that extra crayon, but you can see I'm starting to add a third layer around every single leaf. And I'm almost finished. Oh, here's a blue violet. This is a pretty color. I can add some right here, right there. This one needs a third layer, and so does this one. All right, now every single dot I made has a third layer, and my last step is going to be adding some more little dots, this time with my marker. So I can just go in and put some little dots for little leaves kind of around the tree to make it look nice and full. You can draw little dots like that, or you can even take your marker and just tap some little dots for itty bitty tiny leaves to make your tree look nice and full. Gonna get some green. And I can do circles, or I can do little dots, just to make some extra fun leaves. I think I'm going to use a little bit of orange, and it just really finishes your beautiful piece of art by adding those extra pieces of color. I might add a little bit of red, just adding some extra dots for extra leaves around my tree. Especially anywhere I think I left too much space. I can fill it in with these cute little marker dots. And now I am all finished. And if you've been following along, you are too. And so at the end you have this beautiful tree made with different dots and circles, and it is amazing. Great job. Thanks for creating with me today.